Alright, welcome back to another day's video, and today is episode 3 of this new series, and I must say we are progressing really fast, and I'd like to keep it this way. But now, let's start the episode. Anyways, first we're going to start off with the newest event that happened last episode where this new country had started off and they took this amount of land, and they're red. Yeah, in case y'all didn't know that. Ha. But they've taken away three major cities, which this country is very upset about what these two countries what they just had done to them. They're upset because they had left their own country, and now they're invading, which which will cause a few things to happen. But we're gonna start that after this military begins to let me okay there. They will fully invade into that country and split it into two and capture this major city, which also all capitals are considered major cities, by the way. I'm just disclaimering that. And then this country will slowly begin to invade this capital city or this major city up here, which will surrender, and then so will the country. And this is when they begin to invade into the gold country, which is also guaranteed independence by the blue team. So if you're gonna do that, you're gonna create a war with the French, and you don't want that. Even other countries around them are telling them don't do that. That's a very bad idea. Even one of the newer countries are telling him don't do that. That's what's gonna get you killed. But, France is like, you messed up, buddy. This is France, by the way. This right here, this is France. But they're gonna ignore them and continue to invade into the gold country. The gold country is just sitting around and like, you're in big trouble, buddy. What are you gonna do? And this is when France finally comes. I should probably create an alliance layer now that I'm realizing that. So France will immediately kick them back where they'll only take over one major city rather than four. It gets so bad that they are beginning to let me go back a few, that they are going back to releasing this country, this maroon country. That's how bad it is getting for them. The French won't stop there. They will fully release this maroon country and guarantee its independence. So that's not it either. We're not done yet. The French are going to continue to guarantee its independence so much that they're physically invading this country. All the other countries around them were telling them, "You shouldn't have done that." Because France, by the way, is a democratic monarchy, a constitutional monarchy. The the people have more of a say in their own country rather than the king itself. But the king is highly controlling in this, but they still control most of the power in the House of Representatives, that kind of stuff. But the French will go ahead and immediately surround their capital, and yeah, this country will immediately surrender. But the French will be nice about it and let them go off free. But we're gonna have a few countries getting released. For example, a country right here that's been wanting its independence for a very long time has gotten its independence now and will create its own capital. and so they will put their capital right here, and this will allow more countries to create their own nation. So much so, there's gonna be like I'm probably gonna create two new nations out of this. One from up here. Oh, that's the capital layer. Oh. So much so that they're gonna create a new nation up here, which like beforehand it will immediately create. We're gonna immediately put their capital city right, right on the city. And there's gonna be another country coming out on this side, and it's gonna be coming right here. Right here. I think y'all can see that. Y'all can. Okay. It's gonna come out right there, which that country will have 4 major cities. That's what I'm gonna start calling them now. Our capital will be placed right there, and due to the green team and its low population, we will go ahead and begin to remove their territorial land. The first time actually ever in the series that we're gonna be doing this. We're going to be removing that much territorial land, which will leave territory open for the rest of the countries. Which the green team, which basically now has migrated from one side of Europe to the other, my opinion is a little funny. But they're gonna try to regain some of their lost land over here, and if not more. But that's gonna be the max amount of land they're gonna be able to reclaim. Now we're going to move on to the Greeks, which are going to continue their land expansion probably until like right here. This is probably how much land they're probably going to take. And they're going to leave the rest of the land up for grabs, and they're going to move on to Asia or the Anatolian Peninsula, which we're going to go ahead and explore a little bit more today. A little bit more of Europe is going to be explored, more of everything is going to be explored except for the Americas. That's not going to be till a mini movie that I'm going to create soon. Which finally more sea territory is going to be opened up over here, all the way right here. Boom. Cyprus hasn't been found yet because they've mostly been going around it here. They've been trying to follow some little bit of the coast. Which, by the way, I'm just going to color in all of the Mediterranean. Because at this point, most of the Mediterranean has been fully explored, except for little bits areas. So they're going to explore that finally. And this is when land begins to get physically explored rather than from boat. So boom, there's finally going to be that much territory is going to be explored finally, and boom. So all of the Mediterranean has been explored, and finally Cyprus has been explored. And Greece is going to expand even more now, all the way from over here, a little bit right there, but they're going to expand all the way down to this lake thing right here, all the way to the Suez. And I think they would expand a little bit more of their African colony, most definitely, to that point. And they will even encompass Cyprus. So they're a giant empire. One of the newest countries have become a really giant empire. Kind of like the Romans, but the Byzantines, the Macedonians, which we're going to get to that point sooner or later, just not yet. Which we're finally going to have the fall of this weird German country. This Benelux country, back to what I was saying, this Benelux country is going to be invading this weird German country, which A lot of even France is surprised of how they've survived, but the capital city is finally gonna fall. Um, that'll leave this country to be out for grabs, which I'm trying to go down. This green country right here will most definitely enjoy that. But even though this major city is going to decide against it, they're still going to be forced into this country. Which this other green country right here is going to immediately say, like, no, I don't want you to be doing this to other people. So they immediately managed to block them off. Which mostly leads to this blue country right here. And boom, they managed to take up that much territory of what their army could handle, and the rest of it would most likely go underneath the Prussian government over here, the Prussian monarchy. So most of this land will be given exactly like how much land they've actually taken, which will go as exactly planned, but this will be our almost second time our second time that we've erased a official capital city from the map, and this is going to be epic because we can see how much population density we actually have, and the Prussians, due to how much land they've taken, they're going to be taking a little bit of a expansion diet, even though they would love to take a lot more. They kind of need to take a little bit of a diet. But there's finally going to be a little bit of an exploration trip from several colonists. They're going to go down through this peninsula right here. I don't know what it's called, but it's owned by the Egyptians in real life. So that area gets fully explored, and down the Red Sea will get a little bit explored, and so will the other side of the Red Sea. It'll also get a little explored, but due to the desert, it won't be getting as explored as much. So if they're starting to go down this ocean route, which then causes some colonists to go by boat, which will now look like this. So yeah, they're starting. This is the furthest south they've been, and the furthest north they've been is the Scottish area up here. Also, speaking of up here, this is when they would finally begin to make further expeditions, and boom. The French will immediately claim these before anyone has a say, and this is when the French will finally lose their holdings into Scotland. This is when they would break into multiple pieces. Ireland will become its own country, and that will also be taking over several parts of the actual native Scottish area, which will look like something along the lines of that. England will be taking a little bit of land from this fall. They will be taking over that much land. They'll take over that much land, which will leave several countries to be vulnerable, or several provinces to be vulnerable. That province and this province. Now we got this blue section will become its own area. And boom. We have 4 new nations in this world, and we're going to be putting some capitals down. One right here, one right here, and one for the Irish, which is probably going to be one right there, which we got to add a major city, as that's part of my rule that I've made for me. And we're going to add one right up here, this is going to be the capital city. Right there. And if we go to capital city layer, it's going to be right there. So this is now, France has lost a lot of power lately, but their military will still prove strong, as now they begin to show a lot of weakness towards a lot of surrounding countries, especially the Iberian Peninsula. They show a lot of weakness because I'm gonna create a new layer, and it's gonna be the alliance layer. This is probably when we would have them. Um, Let me go to shapes real quick. Oh, um, okay, there we go. So if we go like this, um, we're gonna have the 3 points. Didn't I just set you 3 point? The 3 point star alliance, and it's gonna be between the 3 point star alliance. Why can't this is weird. I've you know what? I'm just gonna have this. Boom. Oh, okay. I'm starting to figure stuff out. By the way, this is like, okay. So we're gonna have the 3 point star alliance between these two, the French, the Iberians, and the French. That's what we're gonna have the 3 point star alliance with, which is the first alliance ever in the series. I had a little bit of trouble with it, but we're in the future, we should be fine. Which we're gonna have another alliance, by the way, coming out, and it's gonna be between this country, and this red country right here. So that it's a diamond or rhombus triangle alliance, and we got the 3 point star alliance, which are rivaling alliances, especially after the green team fell, which was a huge problem for these two alliances. But now they just fully resurfaced, or decided to show their ugly rear face, I guess. And we're gonna have the parallelogram alliance appear. And it's gonna be between the Benelux country, Prussia, and the Greeks. A very unlikely alliance, but it seems like it's going to be in the outer edges area, which seems going to be pretty powerful in the near future, as they could completely encompass the outer edges of Europe. And also due to the rising power of the Greeks. All right, so we're gonna close the alliance layer and the major city layer, which I'm gonna update that soon. But we're gonna have the Greeks growing again, and it's going to be this little major area into the near future. Right around here, this is where they're going to be growing, and it's going to stop right around there. And they're going to be growing a little bit bigger down here. And boom, they've grown this big, and this is when we're finally going to take a look at the Crimeans. Finally, they're going to be expanding a lot into Europe, as they want to have a little bit of more influence compared to what they have now. They're going to annex that much land over there, which is probably going to be how much land they're probably ever going to take in Europe, probably. But we're going to have this area over here. You're fully explored, which is going to lead to more explorations towards the east, despite less water. But the Greeks will also agree to it, and wow, they found another body of water. So after exploring this much land, they're going to be exploring a little bit more water, and they decide to go fully straight right over here, and they go a little bit off course as the wind is pushing. And boom, they found land, but they were expecting this body of water to be a little bit bigger, so they explore around it. Oh, they found a little bit of an indent, and then soon after they explore all of this area, which will lead to more exploration of the land on this side as they land a few people over here. And down over here, they land a little bit of people, which will actually go on their own and find more land, despite this being so mountainous. They found this much land, which now it's just the Middle East by itself. And they will continue to go through, and they found a little bit of water, which they will be fishing for more food. So now the people who were exploring over here will go around the body of water, and tell them that they found even more land. They'll go down over here to check on them, and oh wow, we're about to get an update on this area in a second, and boom. This is when they find out another civilization has been brewing over here, and one has been found. Specifically by the Greeks, which the Greeks are not liking newer nations, weirdly enough. And, 1 second. Okay, there. This is when they will begin to... This is the newest nation now. Okay, let me fix this. Okay, so this is now the newest nation in the world, and they will quickly set down their capital right there, as it is like the closest thing to any bits of civilization. Yeah, any bits of civilization, the closest point would to go right here, or to travel by boat and go over here. Which that might be a little bit smarter, the boat part, but they don't know how to travel around this little peninsula area, so can't doubt them. You are unexplored. Why are you explored? Again, you are unexplored. Along with you over here. And you. Sorry. So the Greeks will make more of an effort deciding as they see a giant river in the middle right here. And they decide to follow it, and it will lead all the way down to this little area, which again is right next to the newest country right here, which they decide to explore themselves. Which now the newest, this is what the water begins to look like as they see more and more land surrounding. and they will continue to explore all the surrounding air, water around, which will lead to more and more areas being fully discovered. So now we got this much. Yeah, the Greeks are also coming over here. They've reached the Caucasus Mountains over here. They'll also reach to modern day Azerbaijan, basically completely blocking off the Greeks or the Iranians right here, the Iranians, from reaching any bits of civilization other than them. Which is a little evil, guy. That's a little evil, but okay. They'll also make a little bit more claims down here as there's a lot of lush area or a lot of lush rivers down here. So despite it originally being a very small country, now they are a very large country. Phase 1 of annexation, boom. Phase 2, boom. Phase 3 is fixing this. Alright. So they've annexed this much land, and they'll leave the rest of this land over here for the Persians, which they are a little bit shocked of how much land they took, as that land over that the Greeks just took were very valuable. So they decide against from exploring over there, they continue to explore over here, which will go all the way over here, and boom. This is how much land they've explored so far. And that's a lot. That's a lot for like starting a few thousand years ago. That's a lot. They probably reached a million population by a long time ago, but uh we can go and celebrate the 1 million hit population by now. Like now. So they will fully explore this area right here, and they will begin to explore over here. And this is when they would stop exploring as they've reached rough waters. So the Greeks will come over here, and they will explore all the way up to this point as they are running out of resources right at this point. Which means they can travel pretty far from homeland, from main point right here at their capital, and they can travel from sea. From sea, it'll look like this, going through all the way right here. That's a long travel without stopping for resources. And what they're trying to do is trying to figure out if they can go around, but due to how young this country is and how limited resources are over here, they can't really explore that far without drowning into sea. But this was their estimated goal. But what they thought it would look like was probably like, this is probably what they thought it would originally look like. But okay, back to the original part. They will continue to explore deeper into the sub-Saharan Africa, which will look a little bit more like this. As the Libyan part is a lot more nicer compared to the Algerian, I would like to say. But this is how much land they fully can discover into the desert. And by sea, they're slowly growing better in boat exploration. Like that much. Which up here, this is where they decide to grow a little bit bigger. And boom. They they've been able to go exploring out into the ocean by a long shot now, which they can't go north that much because of how much ice is floating around in the water. Understandable. So they decide to explore into the Baltic Sea, which they managed to explore all the way up to this point, which Prussia will find all these islands up here and claim it for themselves. And this is where they will finally make a claim over here into the modern modern day Swedish areas. They claim that much territory, and they will explore all the way up to this point. And they managed to take over that island as well. In this island, so Prussia is a growing powerhouse, and um, you can already tell by my voice I am tired, but I like recording, so I'm not going to stop. So the Greeks will reach that point of exploring where they decide we're going to stop exploring on this side. You can do whatever you want, but we're going to start exploring on the side that we claim that is fully ours. So they begin to explore all the way down here, and this is where they begin to find lush cave areas, or lush blooming areas. They will reach the modern day Eritrean coast, and they've managed to explore this much. I'm trying to. They've managed to explore that much, which will allow the other side to be able to explore even more, as they've gotten even more confidence boost now. And they've managed to explore this much land, which will allow them to be able to explore even more waters down here, which they've managed to explore that much. And actually, now they've managed to explore even more. Yes. Which will allow them to be able to claim or be able to go all the way down there. So now we got the newest, highest point they've managed to explore up here and down here. This is the furthest point they've ever explored. And yeah, enough about exploring. Now we gotta start going. Actually, we could actually say they've met up right here. And also, we're gonna have them meet up by ocean over here. And they're, you know what, just for video sakes, they're gonna explore everything in the center of the Arabian Peninsula. So yeah, they've explored all of this. And we're finally gonna have more. We're finally gonna have more Greek imperialism. They're gonna claim even more down here, which they're not claiming much into the desert. Not as much as if it was all green. They've claimed that much territory, and now they're beginning to go ahead and fix their claims into Africa as they begin to find even more good uses for sand. And now they've claimed this much land, and they're on the border part for the unexplored lands. So the furthest point now, which used to be owned by the French for territorial wise, is by the Greeks. Now the highest point used to be owned by the French is now owned by the Scottish. And we're finally going to be looking at some wars, or actually more territorial claims. It will be the Prussians claiming all of this, and more all the way right here. And they will claim all the way right here, which will leave them that much land, and even more land for them to explore up here. By this point, it is way too cold to explore, so they will be unable to. So, this is how much they've explored. Now, boom, they've explored that much, and it will be staying like that for a while. Well, until next episode, and now we'll have a new country appear out of the Balkan region, the youngest country, and it'll be right here. Actually, we're gonna have a little bit brighter of a red. Every single red has been more dark and depressing. We're gonna have a brighter red. So now we're gonna have the alliances the same, but these are the alliances. Just gonna let you all know. But now we're gonna focus on two capitals. The first capital is gonna be right here, and we're gonna have the major cities, which I'm gonna update whenever I'm not on the screen, but just for pre-update. Just for a little bit of a sprinkle for y'all. I might even make a live stream for y'all for these videos, or like live making religion maps, population density, lore maybe, because there is going to be its own lore situation, that kind of stuff. All right, now on to wars. We're gonna have a war between the Purple Nation and the Blue Nation, which the Purple Nation is not in an alliance, surprisingly, but they will be getting invaded by the Blue Nation, and we will see the Blue Nation quickly invading into them from the south, and from the sides right here. They should not have trusted them. In fact, they should have trusted the Green Nation more. But oh well. They will fully get rid of the top of the nation, and they will fully annex the country, which we will have another country leaving this beautiful new world. And yeah, we're gonna have even more wars appear between the Pink Nation and the Blue Nation. They're gonna be attacking the Red Nation, which, mind you, it is in an alliance from the looks of it. They're going to be attacking the Red Nation, and the Pink Nation will also do the same. Which they will give a ultimatum to this alliance. Will give an ultimatum to both of these countries, telling them to back down or you will regret it. Blue Nation will immediately realize this, but the Pink one will continue. And this is when both of these countries right here, they will immediately protect this Red Nation, and they will immediately force back this country and force the Red country to be an invader into this country, which you should not have invaded this country, Pink Team. You should not have invaded this country. But this Pink country will be fully annexed by the Red Team, and that will be a threat to all the other countries that are surrounding, telling them to back off or you will regret it. This blue country right here will be like, I'm sorry for what I did. I will actually, I would like to be on your team. Which we're gonna have the diamond thing right here. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to figure out what I'm trying to do. We're gonna have this teal team right here join this diamond alliance, which is proving a little bit of a threat now. These 4 countries, these 4 countries could fight off France, Benelux, Prussia, and Greece, not all at the same time, but one at a time. So these 4 countries, if they united for some whatever reason, they could be a giant, massive powerhouse. And we're going to have another breakaway state from the Benelux country, which it's been a while. Not a lot of people like you, in this world as you continue to be an imperialist, and this much of Germany or much of the Benelux country will be leaving you because of how you've been treating them. It's always mistreating your farmers, the ones that feed you. So this will actually force the Benelux country to be out of this thing. It will force them out of this alliance, as these two only want the strong, and they do not. They actually will. They might consider the French strong, but not right now due to how everything is going. But we will add another member to their alliance, as they see it as a powerful powerhouse coming soon. It will be none other than the French. As I said beforehand, they consider them a powerful country. Perhaps into the future they would be even weaker, but right now they are not. So they are going to invite them into their alliance. They're going to say, can I be a part of 2 different alliances? They're going to say, sure. So they're going to join this alliance. They're going to be the country with 2 alliances. So if they get attacked, the other 2 countries would get attacked. And if these 2 get attacked, the French would attack. But they would not join in. That's going to be a live stream for another day. But we're going to go on for the final bit of this video. And it's going to be more territorial claims from France down here. They are going to take over almost this much land. They're going to take over a bunch more. They're going to take over that much pieces of land. And Sicily, that's what I'm going to call them, rather than southern Italy, is going to take even more land as well. They're going to take over that much land. And this is how much territory is going to be happening, or how much territorial exchange has happened. And we're actually going to have the Crimeans do a little bit of something over here.